All right, what's up, everybody? Shalom and Ahava. Welcome to Who's Your Rabbi. My name is Jaime, and this segment is what I like to call Nuggets of the Bible. And today we're going to talk about Hanukkah. So the question that we have is basically, where in the Bible does it reference Hanukkah? Is it in the Old Testament or the Tanakh? Is it in the Brit Hadashah, also known as the New Testament? And the answers are no, it's not in the Old Testament or the Tanakh. It is actually in the Brit Hadashah, or what is known as the New Testament. It appears in the book of John in chapter 10, verse 22. And the full story of Hanukkah you can actually find in what is called the Apocrypha or Deuterocanonical books of 1st and 2nd Maccabees. That is a collection of up to 4 books, and the 1st and 2nd make reference to the actual events that took place that lead up to the commemoration of what is known as Hanukkah. And the second question is, what is Hanukkah? Technically, it's the Feast of Rededication or Dedication, also known as the Festival of Lights. It took place around 167 BCE or BC, after the Maccabean revolt, which basically starts off because of the desecration of the temple by Antiochus Epiphanes or Epiphany. And this takes place in what is called the intertestamental period. So basically, there's a gap of approximately 400 years. If you just go by the Old Testament, New Testament division, there's a gap of about approximately 400 years, and a lot of erroneous teachings about that nothing happened during this time, or that there was no interaction between God and man. But that's actually not true. The 400-year gap is a prophetic gap in between the last prophet, that seems to be Malachi, and the beginning of the New Testament with the Gospels, with John the Baptist's ministry. So in between, there's a whole build up to the whole story that leads into what happens in the New Testament. And that's what we have to look at, extra biblical text in this case. The Apocrypha or the Deuterocanonical books can be found in Catholic or Orthodox editions of the Bible. Also, there's an older King James with an Apocrypha, and you can find the books that are included there. As for myself, do I consider them canonical or authoritative? I would definitely take the position of them being deuterocanonical or secondary to the canon, but they are definitely important, and I do recommend that you take a look at these, just because they fill in gaps as to seeing the bigger picture of why the New Testament, and the characters of John the Baptist, Jesus, and the apostles do some of the things that they do. Excuse me. And so that's basically what the intertestamental period is. But the funny thing is that the only biblical reference to the Feast of Hanukkah is in the New Testament, in the Gospels, particularly in the Gospel of John, where it talks about Jesus being winter, and it's the festival of dedication in most translations. And Jesus is in Solomon's portico or colonnade, and he starts to teach. And what seems to be him going off into a rant like on a couple occasions. But previously, right before that, in chapter 10, he just went through a whole spiel about him being the good shepherd. And then right at the end, he healed somebody. So, and then he actually heals a blind man. So that's the interesting part. Jesus is celebrating Hanukkah. He's in Jerusalem. He's keeping the feast. He's teaching in the temple. And, this is a build-up to a bigger event. But then they question him about him being the Messiah. And he goes into the teaching post this verse. So it's definitely an interesting topic. I suggest that you guys take a look at it. Chapters 8 and 9 are kind of a build-up to this, because it starts off with chapter 8, I believe, is where it's tabernacles. Tabernacles is in essence the pattern for the feast of both Purim and Hanukkah, which are called the extra biblical feast. But I mean, technically they are in the Bible. Purim is in the book of Esther, and like I said, you would find a reference to Hanukkah in the Gospels. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I will do actually an extension to this tie-in, but I just kind of wanted to throw that out there. So hopefully everybody's doing good. I know these are tough times, but let's just keep focused on the reason, because if we study it out, it seems that Jesus is the reason for the season, or the seasons, however you want to see it. And this is just a closer look into how he ties into Hanukkah. So until next time, Shalom and Hava, and pray for the peace of Jerusalem. I'm out.